What if you had the entire blueprint from the best Madden 26 player in the world? This is Henry, the Madden 26 Ultimate Kickoff Champion, who took home $50,000 using one of the most dominant schemes we've ever seen. And in this video, I'm breaking down his entire game plan. We'll start with his unstoppable gun bunch X nasty offense that dismantled every opponent, including number 2 John Beast. And then I'll show you the lockdown defense he used to shut down the best players in the planet. By the end of this video, you won't just have a few new plays, you'll have an entire championship level scheme. And I wouldn't want you to lose games because your opponent runs this stuff and you don't. So watch the video all the way to the end. Let's jump right into it. Alright, first I'm going to give you the entire blueprint to Henry's championship offense from the gun bunch X nasty that had him put up 52 points in the championship game against John Beast. Alright, so Henry was actually running the Jaguars playbook in this MCS tournament, so mainly just running bunch X nasty, bunch tight end, and wide off trail close, something I've talked about already on this channel, but let's jump into the exact setups that he was using. Alright, so you see they're going to be in man coverage right here, and Henry actually scored a touchdown on this play.
That's it. Get down all around. Come to the races. Touchdown, Henry.
But yeah, you just saw it right there. All he's going to do, custom stem his tight end corner all the way down, put RB on a post, custom stem him all the way down, something I've been running since the game came out. So you guys know the stuff I talk about actually works all year long. It doesn't matter when I post it. But then he's going to go ahead and stem this corner out all the way down and then bring this guy in motion. So this play is actually called motion return. Play is called motion return corner. So all we're going to do, boom, call it, and just make the read. You can just see, and actually I was testing out my reticle speed on small. Let me change it back to none so I don't get those overthrows. I don't know how people use small, bro, but you can just see, boom, we have this tight end corner out, does a great job of creating separation. I believe this is actually Minka Fitzpatrick who he does this against, right? So clearly you can just see the level of, you know, just how good this route is. Boom, tight end corner out. He's not ever going to get pressed, so he's going to have a great opportunity to create separation at the top of that route and get open. But we go ahead, call it again. We go ahead, take it right here, boom, let him come in motion, and then you're just going to be able to see that time. I have the right freeform settings on, I'm able to get that pass in there and turn that into a big game. Again, I said it, Henry scored a touchdown on that. But you know, clearly it really works for you, right? You can see rest of the play. You could probably pass this ball towards the sideline for another good dot, but the key is to wait on this return route in the middle. You know, again, this time, the thing about man coverage is you want to put as many man beaters in the field. That's why Henry has 4 of them on this play. And you can see you only need 1 of them to get open. And this really isn't that great of separation on this specific play, but good freeform settings allow you to make these type of passes for big gains. So that's one of Henry's favorite plays, especially against man coverage. Alright, so this isn't even necessarily a play. You can actually do this out of any play, but if we go ahead and reset this play, this is going to be called bunch X nasty. I forgot the exact name of this play, but all you want to do, put RB on a shriek. And so they're just going to be in regular zone coverage here, and we're just going to let this guy come in motion and watch your flat route to Y. He does a great job of getting open, and that's just easy. You have James Cook who has jukebox. You're able to make that throw out to the flat and pick up just really good yards on just a regular routine throw, especially if they don't have hard flats in the field. That's really the first read of this play. This is just a really great route combination too. You see it again right here, just make that read, and jukebox is really good in this game, especially, you know, when you just run right up to a guy and you juke him. It's very easy. But if we go ahead, I mean, you can flip the play right here, but what I want to show off actually is this speed burst glitch that you can actually use to get outside of the pocket here. So right here I'm actually going to just air truck, you can juke, and then you can just see, I mean, the stuff that you can do behind the line of scrimmage in this game, bro, is actually just kind of insane side, right? So what he's gonna do is he's gonna roll out, and then he's gonna start air trucking, air truck, and you can see you can run, or you can, that leads to being able to throw the ball down the field to, you know, openings, right? Because let's just say they want to have a hard flat on that side, right? Because they understand that you can take off with your quarterback and they want to send the guy. So I'm gonna air truck, and then I'm just gonna throw that pass right there. Allows you to get outside the pocket a lot faster. It's something I've talked about in a couple of my YouTube shorts, but it's really something you need to be using because it allows you to get outside the pocket a lot faster, a lot better, and that was something that Henry was certainly using. All right, so this next play, this offensive section of Henry's scheme, is going to be from Y off trio closes, another auto motion play. I'll have the play name on the screen and, you know, where it's found, but this is going to take a lot of practice. I've practiced it a little bit. I mean, it takes a lot, yeah, like I just said, it takes a lot of practice, but you in order to make this work, you need to make sure you have your pass lead increase on small, and I haven't even gotten it to work, bro. It's actually really difficult to time, so I'm just putting it in this video because I saw Henry do it a couple of times, and I've seen a couple other people do it as well. I saw him do it in the ladders, but I know that you have to have your freeform reticle speed on small because bring this guy in motion, but really what you're trying to do is pass lead this shriek, and so you can see right there, we're able to just pass lead that shriek inside. That really isn't even the glitch or the crazy thing about this. This really, for those of y'all who love rocket catching, this is how I would recommend you do it. Again, you have to make sure you have your freeform reticle speed on small instead of none. And you can only really throw these passes when this reticle speed is on small. So again, we're gonna call the same route combination the same way, and you're just reading leverage of the defender. This time you see he gives us inside leverage, we pass lead that ball inside, and so we're able to, you know, make that catch. You would never be able to make that specific throw on any other passing type, because really you don't have a whole lot of separation unless you're gonna lob the ball. If you're gonna lob the ball because he's faster than the guy, okay, maybe. But here, I mean, you know, this really isn't great separation, but you can just see how my receiver is going to run inside to catch the ball, but the defender is not really going to run with him inside to really break it up. I guess he could have broken it up here. He didn't. I mean, you catch this ball a good amount, but what Henry was doing was actually like leading the ball all the way to the right or the outside shoulder of the receiver, and then kind of the same thing that happened here. The defender had no chance. I'll put a clip. It's kind of hard to do, but if you practice it, it's one of the best ways that he was able to, you know, just glitch out their man coverage and make it essentially obsolete. All right, so the last play that we'll go ahead and talk about here with Henry's scheme on offense. Again, we're going to jump into the complete defense that he's running to shut down John B's, beat him by like 50 points almost. But all you're going to do is you're going to put your tight end on a flat. This is a red zone play, so I recommend, I mean, I have the ball at the 2. You probably want to call this from like the 7 or the 8, give you a little bit more room. I mean, it's not a bad 2-point play, but I did see Henry do it from about this yard line. So again, you're going to put RB on a shriek, and then you're going to put your tight end on a flat. So it's going to look something like this. And then really what you do on the backside of this play is you want to make sure you have an in route to B, put Y on a flat, and then leave X on his crosser. Or you could put him on like a 10-yard in route. It really depends on whatever you want to do. But again, we're going to use our base pass protection right here. And all we're trying to do is set up our halfback seam, right? So right here, they're actually going to kind of take it away. But you can see their hooks are pretty far back. So it's all about just reading it. That time I kind of forced it, got away with it. I probably wouldn't want to make this read too often. I'd probably be looking to throw this, boom, right here before this other vertical gets to it. Although cover 2 is a pretty good red zone defense in itself, but if we go ahead and have them, because not everyone runs cover 2 in the red zone, right? So but this play just gives you a lot of options But again, same thing, flat, put this guy on a shriek, so it's gonna look something like this. Take the snap, make the read, and then you can see just boom, backside dig in the middle of the field, flat, moves the curl flat back inside. I did see Henry score a touchdown on this late in the game. I mean, game was already out of reach in the championship, but you just turn on the tape and you just recognize stuff like this. I mean, again, he scored a touchdown on the halfback seam, kind of just the same thing. No one's in this area, you throw this pass, this is an easy dot. This is something that, you know, is pretty typical. You see this a decent amount from high level players. Flat routes, move flat zones out to the sideline, and then you run a guy inside those numbers. In between the numbers and the hash marks is where you really want these guys. So you see Palmer, boom, throw it to him. In between the hashes and the numbers, easy touchdown. And then if you wanted to take James Cook right up this seam, again, in between the numbers and the hashes, those are the problem areas for the defense, and that's what Henry was able to take advantage of to score a critical touchdown in the red zone, because that's what a lot of these games come down to. All right, next I'm going to show you Henry's full defensive scheme that shut down John Deese in the championship and had him get like 4 interceptions. All right, so as far as Henry's defense, what we're going to do is we're going to come into our coaching adjustments to start. You know, you can use these zone drops if you want. These are all kind of situational. I don't know necessarily what he was doing with them. I'd assume it's just a pretty traditional default for a lot of them sometimes. And then sometimes you have zone drops. Sometimes you have them all in default to play match coverage. But here we go. We're going to make sure we have our safety depth on close and our safety whip on pinch. So what that's going to do is we're going to call this play Overstorm Brave, and you're going to see it's going to look like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use one of these linebackers and probably actually like man him up onto, let's say, the running back, right? So now you get, you know, an extra defender essentially on the field with your safety. And what I mean, you can put him in a hook. You don't have to play man coverage. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just run cover 2, something like this, especially because those safeties being pinched gives the illusion of cover 0. But what you're going to do is spread your defensive line. You are going to show blitz, right? So it's going to look something like this. Now you're going to press, and now your safeties are actually going to move back to, you know, their normal positions, which is kind of what you want here. But the main thing that you have to make sure you're doing is, again, spreading that line, pass committing, showing blitz. But you need to make sure that you press D-pad up. So press up on the D-pad to open up this substitution menu. And so when the offense goes to take the snap, you have to make sure you press A, right, to engage with that center, but don't fully, to get his attention, but don't fully engage with him. So the offense, I actually have 2 controllers here. So the offense is going to take the snap, we're going to press A, and then you're going to be able to see now I have 2 controllers again. So it's not necessarily the easiest thing for me to time up. But really what you're just trying to do, and really, yeah, just get his attention, get him to look the other way, and then have one of your guys come in free. Right here, you just see how fast the sheds are in this defense too. And it's actually crazy that I forgot to mention you need to be using the Texas 4-man custom stunt. My fault, guys. You know, but that's why you keep watching the video, right? So you need to make sure you have the Texas 4-man custom stunt. That's a crazy miss from me. But again, man up that running back, vert hook this, you know, top safety right here, spread that line, pass commit, and then, yeah, so then all you're going to do, open that substitutions menu as you're hovered right over this center, open that subs menu. They're going to go ahead, take the snap, you're just going to just disengage with him, and then there you go. That super fast blitz that comes in super quickly. Again, making sure you're trying to engage with this guy, and you really are just looking for this linebacker to come in free, honestly, a good amount. You saw Henry kind of doing that repeatedly, where he's able to get that instant pressure. But again, I have 2 controllers, so it's a little bit tougher. But regardless, you have nickel wide, which, as we've talked about already on this channel, click the card on the screen if you want to see me break down nickel wide. You're able to see we're just going to loop around this guy and just collapse that pocket. It's probably the best defense to collapse the pocket, honestly. But really the main thing and the main reason why Henry loves nickel wide, and the main reason everyone loves nickel wide, let's be very clear, is because you can't double team these these ends, right? If you go all the way to the left, you go all the way to the right, you can't double team these guys. So really that's a huge advantage for you. when you're on defense, because again, you're going to spread that line, you're going to pass commit, you're going to show blitz, and then you're just going to engage right over that center. And so the offense is going to go take the snap, and there it is. Easy pressure, not really a whole lot to it. It's super easy. Just engage with that offensive lineman, get his attention to go the other way, and then you're able to get this guy to just walk in free. You know, a lot to do with just the fact that the nickel wide blitz is so good, but you know, also it's just a great job of setting the play up correctly. And so that's really not all that Henry did though. You know, I talked about this in a YouTube short where I broke down his entire scheme, right? You know, Henry does a great job, like Fancy did last year, which had him the greatest year of all time. Henry does a great job of switch sticking. Breaking news, right? So we're going to set it up the same way. We're going to spread, we're going to pass commit, and they're going to set up the same route combination. We're going to open this substitutions menu. We're going to press A, and now we're just going to be switch sticking all over the field, you know, just depending on where we need to go. Henry, I will say though, you watch him play, he's not switch sticking on every play. Henry does a great job of only switch sticking when you need to, and that's why he doesn't give up as many, you know, one play touchdowns, right? You can see this is already good defense to stop this play. You probably just have to come down, guard this tight end curl, make sure that this in route over the middle of the field is guarded. But another thing that Henry does a great job of with the switch stick, and the main thing that I noticed when I was watching him use this feature, not new feature, but still something that people are, you know, getting used to and learning how to use properly. Not really the top pros, but as far as casuals, not everyone's great with switch stick. But it's going to be the same thing, but this time we're going to man up our user who we start the play on, man him up to one of their problem guys. Let's just say we think A is a problem, their tight end, right? We don't want their tight end just split our seams, right? So all we're going to do is set the defense up the same way, engage with him, switch off, and then peel back up. That's exactly how you want to do it. And if we watch the instant replay, you see the reason why. The reason why is because now this tight end would have been wide open, but now I switch off of him. Roquan Smith comes down, actually guards him, and you're going to say, BLT, now the middle is wide open. Well, by the time they want to throw it, I'm already peeled back up, trying to get back up there with Marlon Humphrey again. You don't have two controllers. You're able to do these things a little bit faster. You could also have switched it onto this top safety, Kyle Hamilton, and came down and taken this post route away. So Henry does a great job of being really baity with the switch stick, right? Something else that he did was he had like a hook crawl. He got a pick 6 on this early in the game. This was one of his most critical plays that really put the game out of reach for Beast. But let's just say, for example, Beast had this same hook zone in the field, right? We set the defense up the same way, and we're going to try to engage right here with this center. We're going to open our menu. They're going to take the snap. We're going to press A. We're going to come down, and when they throw that tight end, now it's absolutely not open. Nowhere to go for them. And like I said, Henry got a pick 6 off of this because he puts it underneath hook zone. He switch sticks onto him, comes down, John Beast through it, and now Henry runs the other way for a touchdown. Again, same defense. This time you don't blitz the inside linebacker. You're still able to get good pressure though with 4 people stunning. So something that Henry did a great job of. Secondly, other than his super toxic meta blitz, was doing a great job of switch sticking. Alright, and so really the last thing I'll talk about with Henry's defense that I really noticed, and it was a huge takeaway watching the game, was his ability to contain the quarterback. So if we just come into this play, right, and we call a custom stunt, let's just say we call the left exit 2-man right here, and let's just say we call a stunt, right? We have this stunt, and we're able to roll outside the pocket because we're custom stunning. We have the air truck glitch in the game, which we know gives you a speed burst behind the line of scrimmage, right? So this was a problem all tournament for everyone that John Beast played leading up to, and this is something that everyone does, right? And it's because everyone loves custom stunts. And what's the problem with stunts? No one's really containing the quarterback, right? If you're ducking inside of the guards, you know, you can just let the quarterback get out if you don't instantly sack him. So that was something that John Beast was doing a lot. It was 88, I believe, and then he played Gucci in the semifinals, was getting outside of that pocket and really making it tough, you know, to contain him. Well, what Henry did was, which was simple and genius at the same time, was just spread the defensive line, set the defense up the same way. Hey, I'm calling the Texas 4-man custom stunt. Well, now I'm just going to contain. You think I'm calling a custom stunt. So with John Beast, this happened numerous times where he would just take the snap and try to roll out. Well, now, you know, even when I tried to do the air truck glitch right there, Owe, whatever his name is right there to break or to hold contain of the quarterback, right? Boom, roll out, try to air truck glitch, nowhere to go because we're just containing the quarterback now. Michael Vick was left-handed, which is who everyone was using in this tournament. So if you're playing against a lefty, they're going to try to roll out to the left. But normally when you're playing against a right-handed quarterback, like we're going to see right here, I'm going to try to roll out, I'm going to try to air truck glitch, and now I'm air trucking right into a sack from Kyle Van Noe, who's in a contain. So really this defense, it's pretty simple. And then Henry's only sending 4 people, so he has 7 guys in coverage to still use that swish stick that I just talked about in the earlier segment. So honestly, just really simple defense. Henry's game plan, I watched him play 9. 9 was able to put up points because he was more simple and more refined. Whereas John Beast was really, and even Lambo was doing a better job than John Beast. Whereas if you're just trying to roll out of the pocket, bro, just contain. If your opponent's just using all the glitches to get outside the pocket with your quarterback, please just spread your line, fool them into thinking you're calling a Texas 4-man stunt, and then just contain the quarterback. It's the simplest, best way to do it, and it really just contributes to the chess match of Madden that we all know and love. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video breaking down Henry's entire championship game plan on both offense and defense. Truly beautiful. Just a great way to play the game. Simple enough on offense, can just make simple reads, but then really just hone in on making adjustments, switch sticking, containing the quarterback, which is really the name of the game right now, to set people above others in Madden 26. If you want a complete defensive seminar, how to stop the run, how to play pass defense, how to stop corner routes, whatever you can think of, I covered it in this video on the screen right here. So go check that out next. Comment down below what other videos you guys want to see in the future, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.